How do you beat the most dominant force in rugby with a team that's in complete meltdown? One man had the answer. For 111 years, Ireland had never beaten the All Blacks, not once. 3 years earlier, Ireland was a laughingstock. They'd suffered their worst Six Nations result in 15 years. They'd lost to Italy for the first time ever, a humiliation that shattered Irish rugby's soul. Their golden generation was retiring, and they were hemorrhaging talent with no plan to replace it. Yet somehow, on that freezing Chicago afternoon, Ireland didn't just beat New Zealand, they demolished them 40-29. 5 tries, pure dominance. The impossible had happened, but how? How do you take a broken team and turn them into giant killers in just 3 years? How do you transform failure into history? This is the story of Joe Schmidt, the quiet revolutionary who rewrote Irish rugby. To understand Schmidt's miracle, you need to see how far Ireland had fallen. 2013 was rock bottom. In the Six Nations, Ireland finishes 5th, their worst result since 1998. Only France's points difference saves them from the wooden spoon. Then comes the moment that breaks every Irish heart. Their first ever loss to Italy. The unthinkable becomes reality. This wasn't just a bad result, this was the death of Irish rugby's identity. The golden generation, Brian O'Driscoll, Ronan O'Gara, and Paul O'Connell were all aging out. Under Declan Kidney, Ireland had won just 16 of 40 tests. The team was rudderless, predictable and broken. The final insult? A 60-0 annihilation by the All Blacks in Hamilton. 60-0. Kidney was fired. Irish rugby was in crisis. They needed a miracle worker. Into this wasteland stepped Joe Schmidt, a man who'd already worked miracles. He arrived in 2013 with something precious, a proven blueprint for transformation. At Leinster, he'd taken a struggling team and turned them into European champions, winning back-to-back Heineken Cups. His philosophy was surgical, structured attacks, precision passing, players who knew exactly where to be at every moment. But could it work at international level? His first test against New Zealand, Ireland loses 24-22. A narrow defeat, yes, but after that 60-0 humiliation, it felt like victory. Schmidt had already changed everything. Schmidt didn't just coach rugby, he engineered it. His system was ruthless in its precision. Every player had a role. Every phase was planned. Ireland became a machine that retained possession for minutes at a time, grinding down opponents with systematic perfection. The results were immediate and stunning. Just 1 year after that humiliating 5th place finish, everything changed. 2014, Ireland wins their first Six Nations title since 2009. Brian O'Driscoll's fairy tale farewell complete. 2015, they win it again, this time with a devastating 40-10 demolition of Scotland that showcased Schmidt's clinical precision. But Schmidt wasn't just winning, he was building legends at the same time. While transforming Ireland's system, Schmidt was quietly crafting the next generation of Irish superstars. One by one, he turned potential into greatness. Tadhg Furlong, developed from promising prospect to world-class tight head. Jacob Stockdale, a try-scoring machine who would terrorise defences. James Ryan, a lock who became Ireland's new leader. Gary Ringrose, O'Driscoll's natural successor in the centre. These weren't lucky discoveries. Schmidt had a supernatural ability to see potential and turn it into greatness. Schmidt's tactical genius reached its peak in his trick plays, intricate moves that left opponents bamboozled. Against England in 2014, Rob Kearney's try came from a 3-phase power play, featuring a dummy loop so perfect it looked like wizardry. Against France, Andrew Trimble scored from a wraparound move that sliced through their defence like a scalpel. These weren't accidents, they were chess moves planned months in advance by a master tactician. But the ultimate test was still coming. November 5th, 2016. Soldier Field, Chicago, Ireland versus New Zealand. 111 years of failure hanging over them like a curse. This wasn't just a game, it was Irish rugby's chance at redemption. And Schmidt had prepared for this moment like a general planning war. The breakthrough came through pure Schmidt genius. Structured phases, building pressure, then explosive finishing. When the 5th try came, he slipped crashing over. The impossible became inevitable. 40-29. Ireland had slain their dragon, but Schmidt wasn't finished. 2018, Dublin. The All Blacks return to Ireland for the first time since Chicago. This time, it's personal. New Zealand wants revenge. Ireland wants to prove Chicago wasn't a fluke. In the 48th minute, Jacob Stockdale receives the ball on the wing. A training ground move, one of Schmidt's masterpieces, unfolds in slow motion. Stockdale chips over the defence, chases his own kick, and scores. The crowd erupts. Ireland wins again. 113 years of home defeats ended. Schmidt had done more than beat New Zealand twice. He'd rewritten Irish rugby's DNA. Schmidt's ultimate achievement wasn't just beating the All Blacks, it was sustainable excellence. Under his watch, Ireland climbed to world number 1 for the first time in history. The broken team of 2013 had become rugby's elite, from wooden spoon contenders to world champions in 6 years. From Italy's victims to New Zealand's conquerors, this wasn't just coaching, it was alchemy. How do you transform failure into greatness? Schmidt showed us the formula: systematic precision over individual brilliance, patient development over quick fixes, tactical innovation over tradition. Most importantly, believing in your system when everyone else doubts it. Schmidt took a team that had lost its identity and gave them something more powerful, an unshakable belief in their process. When he announced his retirement after the 2019 World Cup, he left Ireland as the #1 team in the world. The transformation was complete. What do you think was Schmidt's greatest achievement? Drop your thoughts below, and remember to subscribe for more rugby stories that changed everything.